job. Nice seat.
Good morning. I'm Stephen Glazer, and I'm honored to serve as faculty marshal for today's celebration. Welcome to today's College of Engineering commencement ceremony, honoring our master's and doctoral candidates. We are delighted to have you here to share in their special day. Today's ceremony is being webcast. If you'd like to share the address with family and friends, it is engineering.berkeley.edu/BEgrad18. To everyone who has tuned in, welcome. To begin the ceremony, we have invited singers from UC Men's Chorale to sing the national anthem. Please stand.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much. Please be seated. This morning's commencement celebration is devoted entirely to our master's and doctoral candidates. UC Berkeley is recognized as a world leader in graduate education, with more top-ranked graduate programs than any other university in the world. At the College of Engineering, many of our graduate programs have seen a steady increase over the years. All our programs are ranked amongst the top 5 in the nation, and 4 occupy the #1 spot. In front of us today are nearly 900 exceptional individuals who have earned a graduate degree from Berkeley Engineering this year. As you know, this year also marks the University of California 150th anniversary. Interesting, it's also the 149th graduation, so things went quicker back then. The university was founded in 1868 with the colleges of agricultural, mining, and mechanical arts. The latter two are the forerunners of today's College of Engineering. So as you look to your future, we hope that you also carry with you the pride in our history. We have a great program planned this morning, and we ask that everyone please stay for the entire event out of respect to all our graduates. To offer the first of what might be many congratulations to our graduates, I am pleased to present Shankar Sastry, Dean of the College of Engineering. Please welcome Dean Sastry.
Good morning, graduates. That's your cue to say good morning. Today is a day I eagerly anticipate each academic year. It's my favorite day, and it feels particularly special this year as I close out my tenure as dean while Berkeley and Berkeley Engineering celebrates its sesquicentennial. In plain English, that's the 150th anniversary. I know I speak for all of my faculty colleagues in saying how proud we are to have prepared you for this day. In your graduate studies, you've tackled challenges through original research and hands-on innovation while deepening your understanding of the impact that engineers have in society. You've contributed your own insights and discoveries to the worldwide legacy of engineering knowledge. We are proud to send you off as graduates of the world's best engineering school, Berkeley Engineering. This day belongs to you, our graduates, and to the families who are with us here today, and we want to thank you for supporting the success of our students. Congratulations. Our Berkeley Engineering graduates are truly exceptional. Not only are you dreaming about a better future for all, you are inventing it. As engineers, you take up an idea, you use your hearts, minds, and your hands, and a lot of trial and error to create something completely new. Now, you're leaving Berkeley ready to navigate and lead our interconnected and interdependent world. We need your talents more than ever. We need your vision and expertise to build a safe and healthy world for our children and grandchildren. We need your understanding of ethics and social justice as we introduce new technologies that carry complex implications for human society. We need you to answer the call of the citizen engineer. Let me send you off with a favorite quote of mine from that most visionary engineer known to human history, Leonardo da Vinci. He speaks to both the dreamer and the inventor in all of us by saying, "I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do." Wherever you go, remember that you will always be a Berkeley engineer. Take your responsibility seriously, stay in touch, and go Bears! One of the highlights of commencement is to introduce our exceptional student speakers. This year, Tsai Chu Ye, who graduates today with a Master's of Translational Medicine, will be our Master's student commencement speaker. She will be followed by our doctoral student commencement speaker, Joe Charbonnet, who is graduating with a PhD in Civil and Environmental Engineering. If Joe Charbonnet's name sounds familiar, it may be because he recently won the UC-wide Grad Slam, also known as the Slammy, with a 3-minute explanation of his dissertation on the use of sand to clean stormwater. I understand that his speech this morning will touch on a different topic, however. Joe was born in Gainesville, Florida, to parents who were lifelong teachers. He grew up in a family that nurtured his love of science. Before joining us at Berkeley, he earned his bachelor's degree in environmental engineering at Georgia Tech. Notably, Joe was a student at Georgia Tech, while our keynote speaker, Gary May, was there as Dean of Engineering. It's a happy accident that today's commencement facilitated a reunion of sorts, since Joe and Gary are seated next to or reasonably close to each other. But first, you will hear from another stellar student, Tsai Chu Ye. Tsai Chu was born in Taiwan to a family of physicians. Both her parents and her 2 siblings are doctors, so she developed an early love of helping improve people's life through quality health care. Fortunately for us, Tsai Chu's desire to go beyond treating individual patients to solving broader healthcare problems brought her to the interdisciplinary UC Berkeley, UCSF Masters in Translational Medicine program. We call it sort of the Andy Grove program in honor of Andy Grove, who really pushed us to create this program. At Berkeley, she was based in the bioengineering department, where she worked on exploring the idea of gene therapy to treat disease. While she's not in the lab, she manages to find time to volunteer at nonprofits like the Foundation Fighting Blindness, which supports efforts to prevent and treat vision loss around the world. Please join me in welcoming Tsai Shu as our master's student commencement speaker.
Greetings, family, friends, faculty, alumni, and congratulations to the class of 2018. I stand before you as a less conventional choice for student speaker because I am not an engineer by training. But before you start questioning the decision of the committee, I would like to tell you why we doctors and engineers share so much in common. We both take time to enjoy the little things in life, such as those little bugs in the human body and those little bugs in our code. We both love working late into the night and on holidays. And we don't stop when we're tired. We only stop once we've found a solution. But it's not just our achievements or the recognition we receive that motivate us. It is the real impact and indelible marks we leave on others' lives that fulfill us. On my first morning here, our program director laid out a table of tools ranging from a hammer to a measuring tape to a spoon, and instructed us to choose one without knowing what it was for. From there, we got into groups for our ice-breaking session, which was literally to break a giant ice block using our tools until it weighed exactly 1 kilogram. I looked down at my spoon in dismay. Standing here now with all of you, my fellow graduates, I realize that we're facing a similar challenge. The world is changing unpredictably around us, faster than ever before. And the tools we have in hand may rapidly become outdated or simply not match the problems we're faced with. When we got to Berkeley, we each picked a discipline that matched our personal strengths without knowing what tasks we'll now encounter. Whether you picked a stethoscope, a calculator, or a pipette, I want to reassure you that we've learned far more at Berkeley than just how to use a tool. However things unfold from here on out, our mission will be accomplished, as we found out with the ice block, not by any single tool, but by our combined creativity, critical thinking, and teamwork. During a visit to Tibet, I met Yomei, a local student who had dropped out of school due to financial strains, even though the education was provided for free. I later learned she had to spend all of her time working in order to raise her siblings, although graduating was her dream. A year later, as we were corresponding, I found out she had used all her extra savings to buy coal to provide heat so the students who were forced to work in the summer could continue to learn during the freezing winter. By being in the world's best public university, we're all blessed with having more than one tool in hand to better the world. Yomei, who had almost nothing in hand except for her own motivation and determination, made this world a little better than she found it. The world outside of Berkeley may be filled with people ready to tell you to be realistic. But the truth is, no one really knows what is possible until they actually try. As the great German philosopher Nietzsche noted, he whose life has a why can bear almost any how. It is all about our willingness to put one foot in front of the other to better the lives of those around us. Scientist or artist, doctor, or engineer, whatever your background may be, the same holds true for each of us. Life takes on the meaning that you give it. This year, we celebrate Cal's 150th birthday and are reminded of all the life-changing discoveries and miracles that had happened here. Here at Cal, we do not merely strive to meet the gold standard. Together, we create the new golden bear standard, which is not only to be a bright light for others to strive toward, but to make others around us shine brighter as well. Here at Cal, history has been made, and we've been given the power to shape the future. But there's no way we could have gotten this far, or will achieve what's to come, without all of you who have been there for us since day one and are still with us here today. So now, on my last day here at Cal, if I were faced with the same ice-breaking challenge, I would worry less about which tool I'd choose, because it is not the tool in hand that matters, but the will in mind. My fellow bears, let's take the light Berkeley has sparked in us and go after our dreams. Go bright, go bold, go brave, and go Bears! Now, please join me in welcoming the PhD student commencement speaker, Joe Charbonnet.
All right, y'all. I'm going to spoil the end of this speech for you. This speech is going to end with you cheering, "Go Bears." But, it is my sincere hope that when you shout "Go Bears" at the end of this speech, it will mean something different to you than it does right now. But first, let me start by asking, do you ever go up to the top of the campanile? Yeah. I know that this is super cheesy, but sometimes when I was stuck on a really thorny problem in my research, I would go up to the top of the tower to think. Because I found that when you're up above it all, you gain a certain clarity. From the top, trouble seems smaller and inspiration just comes a little bit easier. Our education and training now position us near the top of our fields. Just as from that tower we see the world in a new way, so too does our education give us a new perspective on the problems that we are now called to face. My mother knows this. You see, she came to this country as a child with little money and no English, but with a strong conviction that with hard work and a good education, you can be on top of the world. And she became a science teacher. And for 30 years, she has taught kids that if you want to make it to the top, you have to be inquisitive and creative and seek the great education that you get at places like Berkeley. Because at the top, there's that certain clarity. From great heights, the naysayers seem smaller and inspiration comes easier. As high as those bells are above our campus, so now are you, fellow graduates, above your doubters. My mother taught me that, and if that is not proof that immigrants and refugees are precisely what make this country great, I am not sure what is. So, in recognition of all of the lessons and all of the hard work that each of our families have put into getting us here, I'll ask that we graduates turn and give a huge round of applause to our families for helping so much. So what does all of that have to do with saying go Bears? I know, right? Well, there are cynics among us, you know who you are, who consider the bear to be an odd mascot for Cal. And it is true. Despite being a symbol for our state, there haven't actually been grizzly bears in California for nearly 100 years. But the bear is actually a perfect symbol for our institution. Bears are down close to the ground, and they sniff around with great curiosity. But when they attack, they stand upright. They reach way up with their big paws, and they come down with a fury from above. Attacking problems from above. More than anything else, fellow graduates, that is what makes you and I bears. All those nights that you stayed up in lab, all those reports you wrote, all those equations you derived, all those equations you derived, all those equations you derived, those were preparing you to be a bear. You see, the skills that you gained here allow you to stand near the top of your field, to look out and see the problems around you, be they energy or drought or earthquakes or machine learning, and to reach way up with your big brain and to attack them from above. So now we're going to do a cheer that we have done many times before. And when I say go, you'll say bears. But this time, don't think of go bears as a hokey platitude or a silly cheer for a football team that you never actually went and saw. Think instead of go bears as your marching orders from this commencement. Think of go bears as an exhortation to look down from the high place that you have earned along with your degree from here at Berkeley and attack every problem with all the might and strength and power that your time here has given you. Go. Go. Here comes climate change. Go. Here comes a cyber attack. Go. Here comes a mission to Mars. Go. 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 Thank you all.
Thank you, Joe. That was rousing. And you. We wish the two of you the very best of luck. We have no doubt that you'll make Berkeley very proud. It's now my great honor to introduce an esteemed Berkeley engineering alumnus and the Chancellor of UC Davis, Gary May, who will deliver today's commencement address. Earlier, I alluded to the fact that Gary was Dean of Engineering at Georgia Tech. What I will add now is that his warmth and dynamic leadership made him incredibly effective and popular with his academic colleagues, as well as with the students. It was at Georgia Tech where Gary earned his bachelor's degree, but we claim him as one of our own because he came to Berkeley Engineering for his graduate studies. He earned his master's and PhD in electrical engineering and computer science at Berkeley with Costa Spanos, and then returned to Georgia Tech as a faculty member. In 2010, he was named as the Electrical Engineering Distinguished Alumnus at Berkeley, and the following year, he was named as Georgia Tech's Dean of Engineering. Gary has received numerous honors for his research, which is in the field of computer-aided manufacturing of integrated circuits, but he's also recognized nationally as a lifelong champion of equity, diversity, and inclusion in academia and industry. We saw clear evidence of this at Berkeley, where Gary co-founded BGES, the Black Graduate Engineering and Science Students Group, which just celebrated its 30th anniversary in February. While Dean of Engineering at Georgia Tech, Gary helped create ambitious programs designed to increase the number of underrepresented PhDs in science and engineering. Under Gary's leadership, hundreds of traditionally underrepresented students have received their PhD students in science or engineering at Georgia Tech, the most in such fields in the nation. For his innovations in education programs for underrepresented groups in engineering, Gary was honored in 2015 with the Presidential Award for Excellence in Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Mentoring by President Barack Obama. Gary is an expert, of course, in semiconductor manufacturing and was recognized for this by his election to the National Academy of Engineering in February 2018. Last fall, UC Davis made the wise decision to recruit Gary back to California, naming him the campus's 7th chancellor, and we were delighted. We feel extremely fortunate to have him here today as your keynote speaker. Please give a warm welcome to Chancellor Gary May.
Thank you so much, Dean Sastry. Distinguished members of the stage party, faculty, staff, friends, family, most importantly, graduating students of UC Berkeley's College of Engineering. I'm so honored and pleased to be back here to celebrate such a joyous and memorable occasion. I really feel a wave of nostalgia every time I come back to Berkeley's campus. The last time I was in this facility, I was receiving my PhD hood, and I remember walking across the stage, and to the chagrin of the marshal, I kept walking straight out to the exit to see my family. Don't do that. Such a bad example for a chancellor. Please don't do that. When I was a graduate student back here in the late 1980s, I really never envisioned standing here as the graduating class commencement speaker. When he invited me to speak, I asked Dean Sastry what I should talk about. He thought about it for a minute, and then he said to me, "You should talk about 10 minutes. These students want to get their hoods and diplomas and get out of here." So I'll try to honor that. I know what you're all thinking. I hope he's as good as the student speakers were. They were really good. You guys were excellent. So looking at all the caps and gowns out in the audience right up against the Berkeley Hills and the Hayward Fault, I can't help but have a flashback to that ceremony that I had back in 1991 when I earned my PhD. But there are really two things that set me distinctly apart from those days. Number one, now I get to wear fancier gear, even a little bling, as a chancellor at commencement ceremonies. And number two, back then I never really imagined I would be as happy as I am today. I want to share with you why I think that is. Every day I try to learn something, to help someone, and to make the world a little bit better place. Earning degrees from UC Berkeley allow me to do all of those things. If we think and behave like this, we'll be doing something that is extraordinary for society and for our own well-being and our own happiness. What do I mean when I say make the world a better place? On the surface, that might sound trite, like a soundbite from a Coca-Cola commercial. So let me try to bring this platitude down to earth to our world as engineers. Engineers like to build things. I started with Lego and erector sets as a kid, and I worked my way up to integrated circuits. I believe we also share the aspiration to build something that will outlast us. Buildings, bridges, and dams might immediately come to mind to the civil engineering graduates among us, but of course I'm referring to something much more transformational. I'm talking about accelerating the advancement of innovations that make the world a healthier, safer, and more sustainable place. I'm calling for this advancement because for the past 30 years or so, electrical and computer engineers and computer scientists in particular have been hyper-focused on moving at hyperspeed, chasing an insatiable consumer demand for more, better, and faster technologies that entertain ourselves and curate our lives on social media. The rate of this technological change has accelerated to a point where the 2004 birth of Facebook seems like a lifetime ago. Last time I checked, Facebook passed the 2 billion user mark. And yes, I'm one of those more active users. Friend me. Most of you graduating students were still kids in 2004, but perhaps old enough to remember the flip phone. They were dumb phones by today's smartphone standards, the Commodore 64 of phone technology. I told the speechwriters the students wouldn't get that. iPods were the must-have music player. They're practically extinct now that smartphones doubled as music players. Bluetooth technology was on the rise, and Skype emerged as the 21st century way to make a phone call. My great hope for you and your generation of engineers is that you apply at least as much vigor and ingenuity toward technologies that liberate people from poverty, illness, and suffering, that buffer the harsher effects of climate change, and help us adapt to a changing environment. Don't get me wrong, I'm not dismissing or discounting the quality of life value of consumer and entertainment technologies. I love seeing my favorite superheroes come to life on the screen through CGI, and I like my smartphone as much as the next person. I'm simply hoping for a time when the public gets just as excited about technologies that better society as they do about those that serve the individual. Thank you. And I hope and I believe that you, the newest engineering graduates of the best public university system the world has ever known, are poised to help make that paradigm shift. There is no shortage of opportunities. Let's start with health. We're seeing a growth in technologies that personalize medicine in exciting new ways. Prescription drugs with one-type-fits-all approach may become a thing of the past, kind of like that flip phone. Biomedical engineers envision a future in which cancer therapies target a person's unique genomic fingerprint and are tuned to their personal lifestyle and environment. Engineers are developing diagnostic tools for home care services that scan and send patient data directly to a doctor's office and predict a response to customized treatments, all in a matter of minutes. We're also seeing rapid advancements in molecular imaging that explore the human body in more expedient and less invasive ways. One of my UC Davis colleagues in the National Academy is doing some especially groundbreaking work in that field. Simon Cherry, a professor of bioengineering, leads a team of researchers at Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory and the University of Pennsylvania that's developing a PET CT scanner that can image the entire body in less than a minute. This could fundamentally change the way cancers are tracked and treated while greatly reducing a patient's exposure to radiation. There have also been exciting advances in fluorescence technology that make it easier and faster for doctors to distinguish cancerous tissue during tumor removal surgery. This technology has the potential to save pathologists a lot of money and a lot of time. I believe we're seeing just the tip of the iceberg in these types of health technologies that are increasingly more powerful and more personalized. Engineers will increasingly be tapped for developing sensor and imaging technology in other areas as well, such as to strengthen our national security. Aerial surveillance and drone technology is becoming more powerful to the point of identifying individuals in a crowded stadium like this one. Hi, Alexa. That's me down here, Gary May. Shoe size 10.5. No bone spurs. Mobile air pollution sensors are now being deployed to advance the science of air pollution and how it affects communities at a level that has never been done before. Google engineers recently teamed up with the Environmental Defense Fund and the University of Texas at Austin to map air quality right down to the block you live on. They did this in Oakland, using specially equipped Google Maps cars to measure air pollutants. The results filled important data gaps in traditional stationary air monitoring. They showed that urban air pollution can be highly variable from street to street. The researchers believe this mobile sensing technology can be scaled up to track and map pollutants in cities nationwide and perhaps worldwide. Imaging and sensor technology is also growing in the field of environmental sustainability, helping us keep better tabs on the health of our crops, our forests, and our air. The same technologies could be pivotal in addressing food security crisis. Currently, about 28% of the world's population is malnourished, and the global population is expected to grow 30% in the next 35 years to 9 billion people. Meanwhile, climate change is projected to decrease crop yields in many regions of the world over the same period, with prolonged drought depressing yields even further. So obviously, we need to get a lot smarter about how we farm, taking full advantage of the new technologies available to us. The smart farm of the future presents a cornucopia, no pun intended, of opportunities for engineers, biologists, and environmental scientists to optimize food production systems and to design, develop, and operate smart farm machines. Researchers are experimenting with how wireless networks on farms that use drones can capture real-time data on irrigation and plant nutrition. They're using robots for precision planting and weeding and optimal dosing of pesticides and nutrients. The goal is to optimize food production while minimizing environmental footprint using machines and practices guided by new sensing systems. Here's another way to make the world a better place. 10 years ago, the National Academy of Engineering issued a list of 14 grand engineering challenges to accelerate innovation to address these critical issues. The challenges included in the issues I just spoke to: human health, security, and environmental sustainability. However, I believe there's one major, long-standing challenge to the engineering profession that's missing from that list. I'm talking about the sluggish pace of improving diversity in engineering. This is a grand challenge that I undertook to address as engineering dean at Georgia Tech and now as UC Davis chancellor, and I'm calling upon you to do the same. When I got that PhD here in 1991, I was one of about 30 African Americans that year who earned doctorates in the field of engineering. 30. In the United States. The 30 of us got to know each other very well. We still keep in touch. It's a small club. It's easy to stay in contact. In 2016, 25 years later, the number of African Americans who earned engineering doctorates was a grand total of 173 nationwide. 1.4% of all who earned PhDs in engineering that year. So that's progress, but certainly nothing to brag about. Minorities and women continue to be abysmally underrepresented in STEM fields. It's important that you engineering graduates of 2018 champion diversity throughout your careers. It's important not only for the sake of social equity, or because it's the right thing to do, which it is. Diversity is also worth promoting because it gives our society better outcomes. I'll give you a few examples of that from the STEM perspective. The first auto airbags in the auto industry almost killed women passengers. That's because they had been tested only on crash test dummies with male anatomies. So when the airbags deployed, they often hit the woman in the head and could have snapped their necks or caused severe burns or other injuries. This was the result of not having any men on the design team. The first voice-activated devices, the ancestors of Siri and Alexa, did not respond to a female voice. Again, because there were no women on the design team. Another example, which is still contemporary and relevant today, in some public restrooms, if I put my hand under the automated faucet or soap dispenser with my palms up, I get soap or water. However, if I put my hand under with palms down, I may not, because the dispenser is not calibrated properly for my darker complexion. Now, I'm sure that doesn't happen at the restrooms here in Berkeley. Finally, facial recognition programs still report some difficulties in recognizing darker-skinned faces. So again, diversity is a practical consideration that leads to better outcomes. If there were diverse engineers on those design teams in my examples, they would have not overlooked those particular glitches. Diversity is not just a buzzword. It's not just window dressing or about correctness, political or otherwise. It's one of the great strengths of our society. It's integral to our success. Engineering and science do not operate in a vacuum. Science and engineering always operate in the context of socioeconomic, cultural, and political realities. As the workforce continues to become more global and the needs of our planet become more pressing, we must become both more interdisciplinary and more diverse. Engineers must become effective public communicators and become more engaged with public policymakers. We need more engineers who are broadly educated, who see themselves as global citizens, who can be leaders in business and public service, and who truly want to make the world a better place. I mentioned at the beginning that I try every day to help someone. One thing I have in mind when I say this is mentorship. All of you have clearly attained rarefied academic success. You're about to receive a graduate degree from one of the best engineering schools in the nation at one of the top universities in the world. How'd this happen? How'd you make the cut? Was it all because you were just smarter or worked harder than everyone else? Well, in the South, where I used to work, there's an expression that goes like this. If you see a turtle sitting on a fence post, chances are it didn't get there by itself. Somebody helped the turtle get to the top of the fence post. People helped you, just like people helped me become successful. My role models helped to shape who I am today. Their histories, their challenges, and their successes influenced who I wanted to be and inspired me to become that person. Augustine Escobar was the first black engineering professor at Georgia Tech, and he helped me. He has been there for me throughout my career. He was here for me in this very facility when I got my PhD in 1991, and he was there this past fall for my investiture as the 7th chancellor at UC Davis. 3 of my former PhD students also traveled very far to attend that investiture service. I have them and many other former students of mine to thank for teaching me the value of being a mentor. I want to highlight the story of one of those students former students, because I think it was particularly compelling. Before Cleon Davis was my PhD student, he was misdiagnosed as a child with a learning disability. An active and a curious African-American kid, he was pigeonholed as a slow learner, placed in a special education class, and driven to and from his elementary school in the bus for the special ed kids. But his mother persistently and successfully insisted that that school place him in mainstream classes. And if you fast forward, eventually this slow learner, who had been stuck in the special ed class, went on to graduate with a PhD in electrical engineering from one of the top engineering schools in the country, Georgia Tech. He's now a member of the technical staff at the Applied Physics Laboratory at the Johns Hopkins University. My experience with Dr. Davis cemented my belief that anybody can reach their full potential and be successful if given the right tools, training, and motivation. Mentoring is not, as some see it, an intervention. It's not so much about keeping students or colleagues from falling through the cracks as it is enlightening them with visions of their success. One of my go-to quotes on the power of mentoring comes from the former U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Joycelyn Elders, an African-American woman, who said, you can't be what you can't see. Mentors help colleagues and students find opportunities and successful strategies they did not even know existed. Mentors can bring uplifting, long-term perspective to students anguished over their short-term setbacks. Mentoring is about empowering others to be agents of their own success, their careers, and their destiny. As I conclude, let me return to where I began on the subject of happiness. My final piece of advice for the graduates: try not to take yourself too seriously. Think about the things you did as a kid that probably started you down the track of engineering. Maybe you love taking apart machines to discover how they worked. Maybe you like blowing things up with your chemistry set. Perhaps it was all those model airplanes you built or the computer and video games that you played. Whatever it is, or whatever it was, keep that joy of building and creating and discovery alive throughout your life. No matter how burdened or overwhelming you might feel at times, I promise you will be uplifted. Now, to put everyone's minds at ease, I need to make it clear that I have outgrown my Lego and erector sets. However, I cannot say the same for my comic books. I still have about 13,000 of them. Used to get them right down here on university. Some of you may wonder what a distinguished leader of a university recognized for serious scholarship, why such a person still collects and reads comic books. Well, the fact is that the X-Men, the Avengers, and the Justice League are using their powers for good, and that's what I try to do. Like I said, every day, try to learn something, try to help someone, and try to make the world better. Congratulations to the engineering graduates of 2018. My best wishes for you and your future. Live long and prosper. And this is the only time and place where I get to say this now. Go Bears. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please. Thank you. Don't edit that part out of the video, Shankar. I'd like to ask my colleague, Vice Chancellor for Equity and Diversity and Equity and Inclusion, Oscar Dubon, to please come to the podium for a special presentation.
Thank you very much, Gary, and thank you for being a role model to so many of us. Good morning, Berkeley engineers. Good morning, esteemed loved ones. I am Oscar Dubon, UC Berkeley's Vice Chancellor for Equity and Inclusion and a professor in the Department of Material Science and Engineering. I am here today to present the Berkeley Citation, one of the highest honors the campus bestows. I am truly honored to be doing this. The award recognizes exceptional service to the campus and those whose body of work exceeds the standards of excellence in their fields. Today, I am honored to present the Berkeley Citation to my colleague, my friend, my former boss, and really one of the special people in the college and on the campus, our Dean of Engineering, Shankar Sastry. Shankar, will you join me to the podium? Yes. One moment. The presentation of the citation is always a surprise. So if Shankar looks like he's been caught off guard, he has. At the end of next month, Shankar will return full-time to his research and teaching after more than a decade as Dean of the College of Engineering. That decade has been remarkable, thanks in no small part to Shankar's vision, energy, enthusiasm for Berkeley and its students. Shankar does bleed blue and gold through and through. With creative new approaches, he met the challenge of preparing our graduates for a changing world, increasing our focus on design, entrepreneurship, hands-on learning, and integrating business or clinical skills with engineering. Shankar championed efforts to educate the whole students with an innovative suite of student services from academic and personal counseling to leadership training. He helped solidify Berkeley's leadership in innovation and global impact with his direction and support of multidisciplinary research centers, tackling such issues as cybersecurity, energy, water, synthetic biology, digital technologies, and alleviating global poverty. Shankar is truly a social justice warrior, and I'm really very proud of that, to have worked with him for that. I particularly appreciate Shankar's role as a champion of broadening participation in engineering. He has overseen steady growth in enrollment of women, which this fall will constitute 30% of the freshman class. And underrepresented minority students. And last fall, Berkeley Engineering's comprehensive plan to advance faculty diversity was recognized by the UC Office of the President. Nearly 40 years ago, Shankar sat where you students are sitting as an EECS graduate. His connection to Berkeley is deep and enduring. He's made Berkeley Engineering better, stronger, and always more exciting. And for this, we thank him. Shankar, congratulations on winning the Berkeley Citation. So I don't know what happens next, but
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Oscar, and thank you, Shankar. Commencement is a proud day for graduates and their families. It is also a proud moment for the University of California. The degrees conferred by the university attest to the high achievement of our students and to the fulfillment of the primary task of the university, which is to advance knowledge. Today's ceremony recognizes engineers who have earned the degrees of Masters of Engineering, Master of Science, Master of Translational Medicine, or Doctor of Philosophy. I would like to invite all our graduates to express your appreciation to family and friends who have supported you in your pursuit of a graduate degree. Please stand and give them a hearty cheer. We know what a special day this is, and that many of you will be taking photographs while we're handing out the degrees. I'd like to ask you to please keep the aisles clear in consideration of those seated. It is now time to grant our candidates with their hard-earned degrees and recognize each one of them by name. Dean Shankar Sastry will confer the master's degree in the following order. First, the Master of Engineering. This one-year degree combines intensive study and an engineering specialization with coursework in business and leadership principles, all integrated by an industrial capstone project. Second, the Master of Science. This degree is granted to individuals who have completed a course of study demonstrating a mastery or high-level overview of a specific field of engineering. Lastly, the Master of Translational Medicine, a joint program with the University of California, San Francisco, prepares students to use translational research and technology innovation to improve healthcare. Dean Shankar Sastry, please step forward to grant the degrees.
Will the candidates for the degree Master of Engineering please rise? In my authority as Dean of Engineering of the University of California, Berkeley, I grant you the degree Master of Engineering. I now invite all of you to move the tassel on your caps from the right side to the left side. Congratulations on your new status as proud graduates of Berkeley Engineering. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the Master of Science degree please rise? In my authority as Dean of Engineering of the University of California, Berkeley, I grant you the degree Master of Science. All of you are now welcome to move the tassel from the right side to the left. Congratulations as we celebrate together your status as proud Berkeley Engineering graduates. Please be seated. Finally, the candidates for the Master of Translational Medicine degree, please rise. Please rise. Commencement speaker. In my authority as Dean of Engineering of the University of California, Berkeley, I grant you the degree Master of Translational Medicine. Don't worry, I'm not subverting UCSF on this. It is a joint degree. I now invite all of you to move the tassel on your caps from the right side to the left. This proud tradition signifies your new status as Berkeley Engineering graduates. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Master degree certificates will be presented to candidates by Dean Shankar Sastry and Phil Kaminsky, Executive Associate Dean of the College. We begin with the Master of Engineering candidates who will be introduced by directors of the Fung Institute of Engineering Leadership. Professor and Faculty Director Lee Fleming, Alex Believ, Director of the Academic Capstone Experience, and Wayne Delker, Director of the Corporate Capstone Experience.
Dean Sastry. The candidates for the Master of Engineering degree in the Department of Bioengineering are Sina Dabiri,
Bradley Loss,
Ilaria Maresi,
Jose Ramirez,
Ian Sicker,
Via Weinbergs,
Carl Engel,
Karan Shah,
Ling Zhao,
Taiwan Chung,
David Archer,
Keith Mason,
Shilin Alexander Chen,
Johan Chow,
Benjamin Apra,
Ariane Locazamur,
Carl Velati,
Aaron Gudger,
Caitlin Dorff,
Yasodhara Raj,
Hanman Yip,
Tingwei Wu,
Alexandra Pacheco,
Stephen Mueller,
Suyasha Gupta,
Ashish Bardawaj,
Asta Shah, The candidates for the Master of Engineering degree in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering are
Salma Ben Sliman,
Eleanor Herbruto,
Nelly Andalu,
Zua Arika,
Shuyu Cheng,
Caroline Jeria,
Wuxing Yan,
Ruan Jiyoung,
Shuya Jiang,
Chris Datu,
Andrew Chewing,
Thibaut Joffrino,
Alec Lamoureux,
Hamza Syed,
Hongbei Chan,
Jin Peng,
Jiangpeng Ho,
Han Yao,
Sikang Hu,
Ilyas Atiji,
Elliot Atlani,
Candidates for the Master of Engineering degree in the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences are
Minyoung Kim,
Lixia Xing,
Yujie Wang,
Diyu La,
Scott Johnson,
Daheng Fei,
Wei-Shing Lin,
Yao Yuan,
Sherwin Lau,
Paul Mayer Rackner,
Mary Lee Lawrence,
Jackson Wang,
Chen Fu,
Jingbo Wu,
Weiran Lu,
Xuan Chen,
Yidan Zhang,
Jinsheng Lu,
Ke Yao Shen,
Yuao Yu Zhang.
Shiying He.
Alexandros Lycidas.
Evan Thompson.
Leo Loje.
Daniel Nisbet.
Donning Wang.
Lingying Tsai.
Jieshen Wang.
Kate Bell.
Luna Ispizu Rodriguez.
Daniel Amar.
Chuming Chang.
Joshua Yoon Keat Chu.
Stephanos Hinardi.
Michael Zhao.
Frank Shi.
Weilun Zheng.
Jiang Ming Qian.
Gongbo Yang.
Yingfang Xie.
Robert O.
Stephen Hansen.
Michael Brandorfer.
Karishma Gulati.
Jing Hong.
Qingyang Zhao.
Xie Huang.
Richard Ren.
Jianshi Gao.
Jonathan Wang.
Junli Ye.
Boduan Kong.
Shaomin Jin.
Hao Li.
Zhao Yu Tsai.
Young Ding.
Quan Lu.
Hai Zheng.
Wanlin Tsui.
Weijia Huang.
Ronbin Chao.
Tengyu Chen.
Yidong Huang.
Shuai Yao.
Sean Wilkinson.
Yuleng Gu.
Yifu Gul.
Alex Mishant. Candidates for the Master of Engineering degree in the Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research are
Adrian Lemagre.
Lou Granio.
Yuhi Chui.
Guillaume Drudo.
Bhavya Vashish.
Sergeyev Malul.
Dian Yu.
Yan Zheng.
Eugene Zhou.
Annie Yu.
Jing Zhang.
Kun Young.
Lin Lu.
Xue Fei Wang.
Yiwun Gao.
Wexi Chen.
Shaogin Wei.
Deyu Wang.
Yuan Zhu.
Wandrer Yang.
Yuan Liao.
Jiahui Sun.
Jiahi Chao.
Yuyang Pan.
Yiyu Chen.
Lanlan Zhao.
Jianying Liang.
Elias Asmar.
Cyril Tamraz.
Vasilius Papa Nicolaou.
Umesh Tilavasan.
Benjamin Tan.
Dhruv Madan.
Yavin de Klerk.
Shikhar Verma.
Lalila Joaki.
Nay Fatu Diop.
Renitha Reidi.
Sumya Gupta.
Davina Jain.
Nikhil Gupta.
Ashkat Kandawal.
Gunsu Digistanli.
Arpit Wias.
Elise Shen.
Jiayi Zhang.
Shuntong Lei.
Janyan Kui.
Siyu Lu.
Yiyu Shi.
Biyu Tang.
Peijia Zhang.
Sing Lin.
Joyce Zhang.
Xiangpeng Wang.
Richard Wailarman.
Orion Blar.
Flor Peri Perituan.
Alexander Vincent.
Romain Kako Chilaf.
Ahmed Isawai.
Pierre Habte Nouvelan.
Suhail Bentaleb.
Julian Raz.
Lorenzo Ong.
Hino Pei.
Robert Holbrook.
Michael Lee.
Asan Safir.
Alexandra Natarajan Hokanan Aykroyd.
Vikram Singh.
Griselda Guadalupe Cavaz Sobrano.
Rochelle Crash.
Stephanie Zhu.
Yuan Wu.
Matthew Rosenden.
Nabil Salim.
Farshad Meraftab.
Olabodi Falaya.
Nicholas Hirons.
John Scott Perkins.
Andrew Gonzalez.
Jordan Cox.
Rauf Muhammad Rahimov.
Kevin Feng.
Ashray Yadav.
Rijul Medirata.
Siddhant Isar.
Kapelesh Ramesh.
Amanth Deep Tripathi.
Mit Vipul Dami.
Teyaz Bender.
Jia Shi Tay.
Jillian Chan. Candidates for the Master of Engineering degree in the Department of Material Science and Engineering are Jinti Lin.
Naywin Pu.
Shooting Ko.
Naga Pratik Ridimunda.
Egon Felgus.
Eileen Liu.
Chan He.
Eno Soon.
Rehan Go.
Sheena Rushin.
Jing Cha Yang Ang.
Yagi.
Uting Leo.
Jin Ming Chin Chaying.
Zhao Lu.
Sun Ying Sai.
Yongkai Lau. Candidates for the Master of Engineering degree in the Department of Mechanical Engineering are
Wendy Su.
Abdulaziz Alfaris,
To Ni Zheng.
Joseph Seyun,
Jonathan Marr.
Robert Rugrak,
Kevin Notihamijo Projo.
Robert Stewart,
Zachary Chirakian.
Michael O'Devenon,
Carl Schmidt.
James Carter,
Ryan Locke.
Joseph Felipe,
Rohan Kulkarni.
Paul Molinas,
Ashish Ghosh.
Harus Agarwal,
Shi Tej.
Matreya Patel,
Ralph Hakem.
Sai Kanun Sampath,
Zareen Chima.
Mubarak Abdul Kedar,
Kichan Hu.
Tijun Chang,
Haipeng Yu.
Sarah Leong,
Wu Zhu.
Chenji Ji,
Chia Yun Shao.
Haiju Yin,
Wang Xinhao.
Boju Zhang,
Ziha Bai.
Wei Ren,
Shikan Zheng.
Yu Wu,
Lin Lin Sai.
Yu Song, Jingyu Yu Gao,
Tony Wang.
Annie Mong Xuan Li,
Unporvu Suru Ne Haley.
Rilin Wang,
Run Ki Wang.
Yinja Lu,
Boering Robert Hu Boyang Robert Hu.
David Zhang,
Tihan Marekal.
Stephanie Cantu,
Meredith Meyer.
Jacqueline Nguyen,
Purva Ju Wekar.
Arno Bar Dikotans,
Uli Elastri.
Austin Campbell,
Chahal Nima.
Satish Kanararaj,
Darshan Mehta.
Caillou Wang,
Shishir.
Muyor Biari,
Georuv Shinde.
Junwoo Kim,
Jubin Anatini.
Zishan Xiao,
Shi Chang.
Yi Zan,
Ziang Wang.
Di Wu,
Jing Hoishin
Jinyu Yo,
Jane Akko.
Samuel Raisaldi.
Chia Shin Shu.
Fu Jing Cheng.
Ho Ching Chen.
Ho Chia Chen.
Yu Ting Zan.
Minglong Li.
Thomas Chingatu.
Taozheni Young.
Liang Fan.
Iji Ya.
Qian Ming Fa.
Xiaoyu Shu.
Zinya Guo.
Peizhang Zhu.
Alexander Marks.
Holly Stein.
Nigel Mivana.
Candidates for the Master of Engineering degree in the Department of Nuclear Engineering are
Joshua McCumber.
Andrew Lingenfelter.
Hankidu Lee.
Grace Marie Bailey.
Elio Mancini.
Jungkook Kim.
Mitchell Sinclair.
Jesse Norris.
Aidan McDonald.
Pedro Vicente Valdez.
Kelsey Adam.
Joshua Rotman.
Alexander Clothero.
Morgan Fox.
Adria Paterkin.
Yimeng Chen.
Priya Agarwal.
Congratulations to all the Master of Engineering class, the greatest and best class so far.
We now turn to our Masters of Science candidates who will be introduced by their department chairs. We will start with our Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences. Candidates will be presented by Professor and EECS Chair James Demmel and Professor and EECS Associate Chair Jeff Boker.
So, Dean Shastri, the candidates for the degree Master of Science from the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences are Daniel Lee, Alan Guo, Aditya Chopra, Patrick Yang, Yuxuan Liu, Shi-Hu Ren, Kai-Yang Kim,
Alexander Koo, Gunjin Baid, Vinitra Swami, Ifat Umir, Stephanie Garcia, Andrew Liu, Z Yan, Ryan Goy, Kevin Pang, Varun Tolani,
Corey Zumar, Michael Zhang, Nikhil Mishra, Andrew Blattner, Samuel Holliday, Apollo Jain, Michael Ryan Tong, Eric T. Pai, Chi-Ping Shaw, Lushan Yang,
Tong Li, Samuel Lau, Vivek Rugaram, Alan Zhao, Jared Rulison, Kinsey Huyn, Rajiv Sambarya, Griffin Potrak, Gochi Jepdal, Corton Singer, Kayo Lee,
Yaifei Li. Oh, okay, we're done.
my good friend Ken Goldberg, Chair of the Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research, will present the next batch of candidates.
Thank you, Jeff. Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degrees of Master of Science from the Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research are Katie Chang, Nathan Vermich, Chijie Zhou Huang, and Daryl Chazan, Chair of the Department of Materials Science and Engineering, will present the next round of candidates.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree Master of Science from the Department of Materials Science and Engineering are Aaron Hall, Joshua Maher, Cheryl Chang, David Yang, Roberto Horowitz, Chair of the Department of Mechanical and Engineering, will present the next round of candidates.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering are, and one additional one from MSc. Yes. Okay. Chen Yu Khan. Oh, okay, sorry. So he was from Material Science and Engineering. And now come the Mechanical Engineering candidates. Tohwan Wang, Zachary Theroff, Siryu Fu, Peyton Goodrich, Danielle Porret, Benjamin Kaiser, Alan Zhang, Evan Patrick Classic, Patrick Savage, Jonathan Corvello, Andrew McPherson, Bradley Cage, Cameron Bauer, James Johnson, too fast, huh? Alexander Chong, Sofia Arevalo, Michael Rogers, Conrad Holda, Richard Lee, Geronimo Mora, Chu Chong Lee, Bradley Pfeiffer, Eric Ibarra, Ye Yang Kao, Vatsal Patel, Mimi Lou Parker. Peter Hosman, the Chair of Nuclear Engineering, will introduce the next batch of candidates.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree Master of Science from the Department of Nuclear Engineering. Catherine Shield. The Department of Nuclear Engineering congratulates our master student. Robert Harley, Chair of the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, will present the next round of candidates.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree Masters of Science from the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Before I get started, I'll be assisted by my Vice Chair, Professor Claudia Ostertag, in presenting the candidates. Christopher Stouffer, Jimmy Wong, Lindsay Shapiro, Dylan Maxwell, Bo-Fai Shu, Sean Philbrick, Alex Light, Albert Johan, Mary Williams, Jerry Chen, Harang Su, Hansha Deng, Qing'an Zhao, Juzi Shi, Stella Yip, Joel Mandela, Franco De Paula, Vangelis Petas, Shui Young.
Go ahead.
Evania Cristani, Hansi Rau, Gunsi Deng, Anton Cortez, Alexander Retzlaff, Toby Ong, Tess Huang, Janet Ring, Katrina Tzu, Anne-Claire Buyoru, Kesulu, Yadan Seng, Wei-Chun Song, Xiyu Cheng, Xiyu Sang, Jacqueline Xiang, Chiyo Chin, Chin Feng Deng, Chin Chen Song,
Leanne Bardawil, Mariangel Molina, Rebecca Samarelli, Valentina Mateo, Aviva Tang, Camilla Correa, Eli Alcher, Ahmed Bin Thania, Fiona Greer, Pedro Botero Toro, Mazen Haidar, Ahmad El Merebi, Camille Salam, Xiaomin Chen, Ruhan Wang, Martin Briones, Mert Gilan, Mike Mitchell Shortledge,
Jeremy Mack, Joshua City, Cecile Leveve, Wenxing Liu, Siki Lee, Ruth Waters, Sonia Darakar, Moon Ki Young, Chetty Bogida, Carlin Yao, Chao Chen, Swei Tang, Yutao Wang, Sishun Sang, Chichi Su, Jonathan Wegleiner, Martin Torres, Oops, sorry. Harrison Jacobs, James Simpson, Brian Lilly, Tom Ski, Daniel Gaspar Rodriguez, Jade Cohen, Jean Salvador Aguila Moreno, Fendi Setyavan, Jacob Wadman, Alexis Barajas, Sergio Herrera, Suraj Patel, sorry, Jeffrey San, Alan Pua, Eric Eduardo Garcia Chavez, Urs Bügge, James Gitan, Jose Echeverria,
Terrence C., Sean Shea, Joseph Kelly, Jack Dinkelspiel, Sarah Dothwaite, Yi Chu, Mao Cheng, Kershi, Wei Dong Fang, Richard Kuo, Peng Cheng Gong, Ike Tsing, Chao Wang, Jiawei Chen, Fan Hu, Hang Yu Huang, Yinan Guo, Yinzhan Yang, Ruying Liu, Yan Xian Chen, Juejin Lu, Yin Yin, Ton Nguyen, Sean Meany,
Tande Tsukul, Alexander Wang, Xinghui Wang, Si Zhang, Wenlin Han, Wen Xing Wu, Claudia Mack, Kelsey McNeil, Emily Dalby, Jocelyn Wong, Kimberly Yan, Maria Demuri, Katie Straw, Samantha Hankler, Emily Kramer, Eric Sussman, Kira Lockie, Gaurav Mittal, Chase Hemming, Kayori Purkayashi, Com de la Sus, Emily Fons, Pierre-Louis Herré, Alexander Lam, Yunnan Xi, Xinghua Ding, Nan En Yan, Xiao Wei Liu, Susan Xingxixi, Elizabeth Dabramo, Yun Moon Yin Kim, Emily Farah, Daniel Heron, Caroline Nevis, Emily Peterson, Bona Poshkekani, Nathan Sen, Guan Yun Lee, Tiffany Chang, Wesley Adriansen, Elena Present, Dieter Smiley, Iana Kawada, Kamun Krebs, Mark Hutton, Andrew Pennock, Alexander Chen, Haley Proctor, Marianne Rosario Martinez, Wesley Human, Beverly Sue, Blake Wyatt,
Kenzo Horiichi, Margaret Stack, Michaela Durubis, Joyce Fung, Eleanor Xiao, Angela Hu, Viviana Vela, Catherine Rose Brody, Tracy Donahue, Anna Lamela, Carlene Chow, Nana Ochiai, Judy Guo, Connie Chen, Marissa Gelms, Natsuki Okuda, Shurong Lin, Jessica Lazarus, Maria Soltadeo, Jean Carpentier, J. Esther Jung, Juan David Casido Castro, Lin Yang, George Gillette, Chao Zhu, Ibrahim Yatani, Tawit Sangvara Puthurnan Siri, Eric Hu, Shuqi Feng, Siqing Yi, Keijin Huang, Ang Li, Jiaxi Lu, Kelly McCurdy, Faith Moore, Lillian Lorinx, Timothy Forrest, Karthik Viswanathan, Jiajian Lu, Weili Ho, Quen Chan, Yue Hu, and Lu Dai. Congratulations to all of our graduates.
Slowly but surely. Oh, it's up?
Congratulations to you all. We now turn to our Master of Translational Medicine candidates, who will be introduced by Professor Dan Fletcher, Chair of our Department of Bioengineering, and Moose O'Donnell, Executive Director of the MTM program.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree of the Master of Translational Medicine are Wuji Cao, Tiffany Ma, Haiyu Huang, Ivani Shi, Lourdes Marie Tijero, Madison Jackson, Margaret Lees, Sadie Eicher, Anshul Gupta, Pierre Nedelec, Ricardo Carlos Abad Juan, Rachel Fischel, Julian Putti, Lauren Dobias. Billy Wooju Kim. Bimal Amin. Kwanlin Chin. Ekaterina Shanina. Jasper Visser. Saichu Ye. Krish Krishnan. What's that? Yeah. Ying Ha. Congratulations to you all.
We are proud of this fine group of candidates. Congratulations to you all. We will now confer the doctoral degree. Dean Sastry.
The doctoral degree is the highest academic degree awarded by a university. Upon completion of original research resulting in a major thesis that adds to the knowledge base in a discipline, we are delighted to recognize these candidates for their extraordinary achievement. Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy please rise? In my authority as Dean of Engineering of the University of California, Berkeley, I grant you the degree Doctor of Philosophy. No tassels for you. Please be seated. Congratulations on your accomplishment.
In keeping with academic tradition, we have placed a hood signifying the doctoral degree over the head of each candidate. The hood's dark blue velvet border represents the doctoral degree, and its blue and gold satin lining indicates that the degree is awarded by the University of California. Students will be introduced by the chair of their department. They will come forward and be joined by the faculty advisor who will present the hood. We start with the candidates from the graduate group in Applied Science and Technology, who are introduced by Professor and Chair Junchao Wu.
The candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy from the graduate group in Applied Science and Technology are Zinab Jahid, Ruhola Musavi Baigi, Drew Lasky, Yang Xia, Yong Liang, Congratulations to you all. Professor Dan Fletcher, Chair of the Department of Bioengineering, will now introduce our next round of candidates.
Okay, the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy from the Department of Bioengineering are Min Sun, who will be hooded by Professor Luke Lee. Julia Vlasakis, who will be hooded by Professor Amy Herr. John Kim, who will be hooded by Professor Amy Herr. Hector Neira Quintero, who will be hooded by Professor Amy Herr. Elizabeth Rosas, who will be hooded by Professor Amy Herr. Elaine Su, who will be hooded by Professor Amy Herr. Jesus Avila, who will be hooded by Professor John Shepard. Bennett Ng, who will be hooded by Professor John Shepard. Benjamin Hinton, who will be hooded by Professor John Shepard. Chu-Wei Tay, who will be hooded by Professor Steve Conley. Olivia Scheidler, who will be hooded by Professor Lydia Sohn. Monica Lin, who will be hooded by Michelle Maharabitz. Christopher Iben, who will be hooded by Professor Jay Kiesling. Jasmine Hughes, who will be hooded by Professor Sanjay Kumar. Benjamin Epstein, who will be hooded by Professor Sanjay Kumar and advised by David Schaefer and John Flannery. So my best wishes to each of the bioengineering PhD graduates. Professor Rob Harley, Chair of the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, will now introduce our next round of candidates.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy from the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering are Jiangjun Lee, his advisor, James Kelly, hooded by Professor Kelly. Ben-Shun Shao, his advisor, Professor Steve Mahan, he'll be hooded by Professors Maley and Kelly. Sifat Nguyen, hooded by his advisor, Khalid Masalam. By her advisor, excuse me. Parham Agdassi, hooded by his advisor, Claudia Ostertag. Jacob Duncan, hooded by his advisor, Claudia Ostertag. Ian Williams, hooded by his advisor, Claudia Ostertag. Eric Bell, hooded by his advisor, Arpad Horvath. Eric Munsing, hooded by his advisor, Scott Mora. Sami Malik, hooded by his advisor, Stephen Glazer. Jingyi Bao, hooded by her advisor, Tina Chow. Dandan Liu, hooded by her advisor, Xiaofan Li. Vishwanath Bulusu, hooded by his advisor, Raja Sengupta. Zhilong Liu, hooded by his advisor, Raja Sengupta. Michaela Chung, hooded by her advisor, Sally Thompson. Audrey Baskul, hooded by her advisor, Iris Tomaline. Fernando Garcia, hooded by his advisor, Nicholas Sitar. Robert Lanzafame, hooded by his advisor, Nicholas Sitar. Michael Gardner, hooded by his advisor, Nicholas Sitar. Khalid Chadbouri, his advisor is Raymond Seed. He'll be hooded by Professor Nicholas Sitar. Zara Amini, hooded by his advisor, Alexander Skabardonis. Andrew Campbell, hooded by his advisor, Alexei Poznikov. Sidney Fege, hooded by his advisor, Alexei Poznikov. Zhiheng Lin, hooded by his advisor, Alexei Poznikov. Mo Gang Ying, hooded by his advisor, Alexei Poznikov. Yan Chao Wang, hooded by his advisor, Max Shen. Paul Anderson, hooded by his advisor, Carlos de Ganza. Wei Ni, hooded by his advisor, Michael Cassidy. Okay. Ahmed Bugatti, hooded by his advisor is Sanjay Govinji. He'll be hooded by Professor Mofrad. Matthew Vanucci, hooded by his advisor Robert Harley. That's me. Joseph Charbonnet, hooded by his advisor, David Sedlak. Okay. So congratulations and my best wishes to all of you. Professor James Demmel, Chair of the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, and Professor Jeff Brokor, Associate Chair of EECS and Chair of the Electrical Engineering Division, will now introduce our next round of candidates.
The candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy from the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences are Ming Jin, who will be hooded by advisor Kostas Spanos. Okay. Roxy Jia, who will be hooded by advisor Kostas Spanos. Ioannis Kastranakopoulos, who will be hooded by Kostas Spanos. Varun Mishra, who will be hooded by Saif Salahuddin. Korik Chatterjee, who will be hooded by Saif Salahuddin. Justin Wong, who will be hooded by Saif Salahuddin. Kai-Fei Chen will be hooded by Randy Katz. And David Culler. Niraja Yadwadkar will be hooded by Randy Katz and Joseph Gonzalez.
Chifan Pu will be hooded by Jan Stoika. Xiao Yun Liu will be hooded by Laura Waller. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Sajjad Moazini will be hooded by Vladimir Stoyanovich. Reza Abbas Asl will be hooded by Bin Yu. Yasser Khan, hooded by Ana Arias. Nicholas Carlini, hooded by David Wagner. Sujay Desai, advised by Professor Ali Javi, will be hooded by me. Next. Peda Zhao, advised by Professor Ali Javi, will be hooded by me.
Okay. Aditya Devarakonda will be hooded by myself and Michael Mahoney. Michael Driscoll will be hooded by Catherine Yellick. Penporn Quanantikul will be hooded by Catherine Yellick. Liang Gong will be hooded by Kaushik Sen. B.A. Chang will be hooded by John Canny. Juyan Shu will be hooded by Alexei Efros. Richard Zhang will be hooded by Alexei Efros. Tingwei Zhu will be hooded by Alexei Efros.
Jacob Andreas will be hooded by Dan Klein. Vasuki Narasimha Swami, hooded by Anant Sahai. Hey, wait a minute, aren't you Laura Waller? Jonathan Tamir will be hooded by Michael Lustig, aka Laura Waller. Patrick Virtue will be hooded by Mickey Lustig. Oh, and Stella Yu. I see. Pulkit Agrawal will be hooded by Jitendra Malik. Sarab Gupta will be hooded by Jitendra Malik. Abhishek Kar will be hooded by Jitendra Malik. Shubham Tulsiani, hooded by Jitendra Malik. Tom Zidell, hooded by Michelle Maharbis. Wen Lee, hooded by Michelle Maharbis.
Ling Chi Yang, advised by Ravi Ramamurthy and hooded by Ren Ing. Ben Zhang, hooded by Edward Lee. Antonio Anapolo, advisor Alberto San Giovanni Vincentelli and hooded by Edward Lee. Philip Maximovich, hooded by Chris Peaster. And Ali Niknejad. Bradley Wheeler, hooded by Chris Peaster. Joseph Greenspun, hooded by Chris Peaster. Daniel Contreras, hooded by Chris Peaster. Jerome Tai, hooded by Alexander Bayan. Kathy Wu, hooded by Alexander Bayan.
Rule Doby, hooded by Claire Tomlin. Kene Akametalu, hooded by Claire Tomlin. Antonio Puglieli, hooded by Borivoy Nikolic. Oh, and Elad Elon. Angie Wang, hooded by Borivoy Nikolic. Pifeng Chu, hooded by Borivoy Nikolic. Benjamin Keller, hooded by Borivoy Nikolic and Kirsty Afsanovich. Oh, no Kirsty? Name was on the card. Steve-O Bailey, hooded by Borivoy Nikolic. Ankush Desai, hooded by Sanjit Sesha. Ethan Shaler, hooded by Ron Fearing. Subin Jung, hooded by Elad Alon. Konstantin Trotskovsky, hooded by Elad Alon and Ali Niknejad. Peng Peng Lu, hooded by Elad Alon.
Nicholas Sutarja, hooded by Elad Elon and Bora Nikolic. Bonjour Yang, hooded by Elad Alon. Nathan Narevsky, advised by Jan Rabai and Elad Alon, hooded by Elad. Chang Lan, hooded by Sylvia Ratnasamy. Radhika Mittal, advised by Sylvia Ratnasamy and Scott Schenker, and hooded by both of them. Shang Gao, hooded by Sylvia Ratnasamy and Scott Schenker. Jiangung Li, hooded by Seth Sanders. Patrick Lee, hooded by Jonathan Bachrock.
Sanjay Krishnan, hooded by Ken Goldberg. Michael Lasky, hooded by Ken Goldberg. Jeffrey Mahler, hooded by Ken Goldberg. Frank Notaft, hooded by David Patterson. James Martin, hooded by John Warzenek. Martin Maas, hooded by John Kubiatowicz and co-advised by Kirste Asanovich. Congratulations to each of the ECS PhD graduates. Once again, my friend, good friend, Professor Ken Goldberg, Chair of the Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research, and as we now know, also a member of the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences, will now introduce the next batch of candidates.
Thank you, Jeff. The candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy from the Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research are Yang Wang, who will be hooded by Phil Kaminsky. Mo Zhao, who will be hooded by Ken Goldberg and Anil Aswani. Yonatan Mintz, who will be hooded by Anil Aswani. Jiaying Shi, who will be hooded by Shmuel Oren. And Kevin Lee, who will be hooded by Candy Yano. Congratulations, graduates. And Professor Darrell Chan, Chair of the Department of Materials Science and Engineering, will now introduce our next round of candidates.
Good morning. The candidates for degree of Doctor of Philosophy from the Department of Materials Science and Engineering are Yanwei Lam, hooded by Joel Agar. Do Young Kim, hooded by Professor Jianchao Wu, advised by Professor Beidong Yang. Shishir Pandya, hooded by Lane Martin. Sorry about that. Rejwan Shu, also hooded by Lane Martin. Sean Lin Zhu, hooded by Professor Ramamurthy Ramesh. Uliana Panova, hooded by Andrew Miner. Thomas Pekin, hooded by Andrew Miner. Anya Prasitipayong, hooded by her advisors Andrew Miner and Peter Holzman. That was a hard one. Duen Young Wan, hooded by Nitash Balsara. Thang Pham, hooded by Alex Zettel and Oscar Dubon. Kyle Tom, hooded by Jay Yao. Thomas Angston, hooded by Mark Asta. Amy Watt, hooded by Robert Ritchie. Ryan Wilkerson, also hooded by Robert Ritchie. Willie Reese, hooded by Kevin Healy. That's it. Congratulations to each of you. Professor Roberto Horowitz, Chair of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, will now introduce the next round of candidates.
The candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy from the Department of Mechanical Engineering are Claire Funkett, hooded by Andrew Seri. Spencer Frank, hooded by Professor Zeri. Abdul Raham Jabali, also hooded by Professor Zeri. Luis Malito, hooded by their advisors. Hola. Kitchen Go, hooded by Reza Alam. Ahmad Zareh, hooded by Reza Alam. Jay Ru, hooded by Professor Carlos Fernandez Pello. His advisor is Yehua Chen. Sarah Scott, hooded by Carlos Fernandez Pello. Maria Thomasen, hooded by Carlos Fernandez Pello. You want the card? Good. Jia Chen Wu, hooded by Sean Shadden. Adam Up the Grove, hooded by Sean Shadden. Hao Yu Wu, hooded by David Buji. Yuang Ma, also hooded by his advisor David Buji. Kiang Song, hooded by Ronald Young. Dong Chi Wu, also hooded by Ronald Young. Jiangxi Shi, hooded by his advisor Jiang Shang. Julian Cowbell, hooded by his advisor Alice Agogino. And also Ashok Gatgil. Yuchu Huang, hooded by Masayoshi Tomizuka. Hishin Chung Ling, hooded by Masayoshi Tomizuka. T. Tang, also hooded by Professor Tomizuka. Xu Yang Li, hooded by Masayoshi Tomizuka. Last but not least, Omar Abdul Hadid, also hooded by Masayoshi Tomizuka. Jong-Young Kim, hooded by Lydia Song. Yiwen Liao, hooded by Francesco Borelli. John Gonzalez, also hooded by Francesco Borelli. Mahmet Fatih, oh, sorry. Go ahead. Mahmet Fatih Konus, hooded by Omer Savas. Rachel Hager, also hooded by Omer Savas. David Fernandez Gutierrez, hooded by Tarek Sori. Satyeda Saki, also hooded by Tarek Sori. Brett Kelly, whose advisor is Hayden Taylor, but will be hooded by Tarek Sori.
All right, great. Okay.
Carlos Casares, hooded by Ronald Fearing. Jessica Stephanie, hooded by Alice Agogizo and Ronald Fearing. Whoa. So this one is a triple advisor. Christine Gregg, hooded by Oliver O'Reilly, Lisa Pruitt, and Paul Wright. And Jonathan Mather, hooded by Kameshwa Pula. John Madura, hooded by Dennis Liu. Wyatt Hodges, hooded by Chris Dames. Jeffrey Waymeyer, also hooded by Chris Dames. Emmeline Cao, hooded by Li Wei Lin. Benjamin Elvino, also hooded by his advisor Li Wei Lin. Ying, co-advised by Li Wei Lin and David Horsley, and will be hooded by Li Wei Lin. Kei-Wei Shen, also hooded by Li Wei Lin. Logan van Egelhoven, hooded by Homayun Kasaruni. Brian Fegley, hooded by me. James Robert Orelok, hooded by their advisors Michael Franklin and Andrew Packard. Octavio Narvaez Aroche, hooded by his advisor Andy Packard. Claire Kunle Wem, hooded by her advisor Van Carey. Congratulations to all. Professor Peter Hosman, Chair of the Department of Nuclear Engineering, will now introduce the next round of candidates.
The candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy from the Department of Nuclear Engineering are Alex Salazar, will be hooded by Massimilio Frattoni. Sin Wan will be hooded by Professor Peterson and Professor Frattoni. Andrew Greenup will be hooded by Professor Per Peterson. Alan Edwards will be hooded by Professor Edward Morse. Oluwatomi Akindele will be hooded by Professor Eric Norman. Callie Rowland will be hooded by Professor Richard Slaybaugh. Cameron Howard will be hooded by me. Oh, yes. I can hop. That would work. If you prefer that. They don't like that. David Fraser will be hooded by me. Leo Kirsch will be hooded by Professor Lee Bernstein. Andrew Stephen Voiles will be hooded by Professor Lee Bernstein. Best wishes to all graduates. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and congratulations to our class of 2018. You are now and forever Berkeley engineers and graduates of the finest public university in the nation and one of the top engineering schools in the world. Be proud. Remember these years at Berkeley with fondness. Stay in touch with each other and with us through the contacts noted in your program. We hope you will come back to share your experiences and impart your knowledge to those students who follow you. Now, to close today's program, singers from the UC Men's Chorale will perform Fight for California.
Our sturdy golden bear is watching from the skies, looks down upon our colors fair and guards us from his lair. Our banner golden blue, the symbol on it too, means fight for California through and through. Stalwart girded for the fray, we'll strive for victory. There all at martyrs' feet will lay, that brain and brawn will win the day. Our mighty son so true will strive for us anew and fight for California through and through.
Go Bears on three, go Bears on three. 1, 2, 3.
Go Bears!
This concludes our master's and doctoral commencement ceremony. You are invited to the receptions held by the departments of the College of Engineering. The location of each is listed in your program. Again, best wishes to our graduates, and go Bears!